So you want to run pihole as a container, good on you. Let me show how it's done. So I'm going to show you here on actual Raspberry Pi and any other Linux. Okay, so pihole can run as a container on any Linux, so it doesn't have to be on actual Raspberry Pi, but people like to do that, and I can relate to that. So I have set up this for a customer. I have an actual Raspberry Pi running pihole. I will show you the results in a second. First, let me show you all the steps. Because I have here a fresh machine. This is not an actual Raspberry Pi, but it's basically the same OS. So it's the same thing. So the steps I will show you here are going to work on an actual Raspberry Pi, and I'm going to show you the end results on an actual Raspberry Pi running pihole for my customer. So this also works on any Linux. So I'm going to show you here on PiOS, on Raspberry Pi, and I'm going to show you on Red Hat, on Rocky. These the first steps may differ a little bit between Linuxes, or will differ between Linuxes, but the actual container setup, it's the same on any Linux. So first you should update your system. Here is how it's done. This is how it's done on actual Raspberry Pi, and this is it's already done. I've done it, so you don't have to wait for me. And here this is how it's done on RHEL on Rocky. DNF make cache, DNF upgrade, DNF update, and auto remove. If you're watching this in the short form, I highly recommend you go and check the long form so you can actually see in bigger letters. Okay, so I'm going back to my Raspberry Pi. This is the first step done. Second step is to get your IP to be static. You need to it's highly recommended you have a static IP address for the machine running pihole, the pihole container, because basically this is going to be the IP address for your DNS, for your new DNS server. Because pihole is basically a glorified and very powerful DNS server to avoid phishing, and pihole is not done to avoid ads per se. Pihole exists to avoid phishing and hunting and people getting new information and collecting data from your machines, like statistics and everything else. So this is a very good tool to have to avoid your information collected by someone on the internet. So it's a very good tool for that. Okay. So now let's go and do this. The next step is very important, which is set the IP address. So use whatever tool you prefer. In this case, I'm going to set through this tool here. And I'm going to set to my IP address. I'm going to, I don't want this. So let's see, what is my current one? So I'm going to use the same one for this experiment. So I'm going to recycle the one I got from DHCP, and I'm going to convert this into a fixed IP address or a static IP address. So the router is going to be the one. Okay, it's going to be /24. My DNS server for now is going to be this one. Then I'm going to add, after that, I'm going to add the container IP address. I'm going to apply, going to close, IPA. So this is going to be my network-wide DNS server, so that is going to go through pihole. Normally, you set this for something like the number 1, number 2, 255, not 255, 254 or 256. 254 or 254, 253, but it doesn't really matter. So this is going to be our DNS server for my whole network, okay? And that's set. If you are running the actual Pi, which I have it here, the actual Pi has NM2E, and NM2E, it's a non-graphical interface that you can configure your network with. Check my channel for more NM2E tutorials. I have all the details there, and you are good to go. So the 162, it's going to be our DNS server where the pihole is going to run. The pihole container is going to run. Okay, cool. So the next, after we have set everything up, we need to install Podman. So okay, 1 second here. I'm going to just to be simpler for me, I'm going to establish a SSH session here, just to make my life a little bit simpler to me. So let's say, I'm going to configure a new session. So it's going to be the 192.162.1.162. This is going to be my temp.py. I'm going to close this. I'm going to save my session, and I'm going to open my new SSH session. Apparently it's not installed here, the SSH server. Okay, that's fine. So let's do apt install SSH. I made a video about this. I forget the name. What's it called? Search SSHD. Okay, it's open SSH server, which makes sense. Install open SSH server. So this is not by default installed here. Oh my god, what the fuck did I copy paste? Okay. So copy, paste. Okay, it's already installed apparently. Okay, so it's probably not started. systemctl start sshd ssh. Okay, cool. Let's try this again. So it was installed but not started on this desktop version of Pi, which is fine. temp.py. Yes, cool. Here we go. Let's log in, student, with my password. We set the fonts. This is going to be console, bold 20, okay. And the colors are going to be, the foreground are going to be yellow. And I'm going to save, temp.py, save, apply. There we go. So this is the exact same, just with SSH. So my life it's a little bit simpler. Just to my sake, I'm going to get some root access. There we go. Now, the next step is to install the Podman tool, which is the one we're going to use to manage our containers. So this is the exact same machine, okay? I'm going to put this here so you guys can actually see it. Okay. So while this installs, I'm going to actually open my mputty tool. I also have a tutorial on how to use what is the mputty and how to use it. So I'm going to open this guy here. Cool. And I'm going to open my actual Pi of my customer. Cool. 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 There we have it. So this is my, let's get things organized here, which is cool. Cool. Why this keeps rearranging my windows? God damn it. That's so annoying. Cool. So this is my real Pi, and this is my new one. Okay. So I have just installed Podman. Okay, it's installed on my new Pi, which is the one that is represented back there. Okay, cool. Now, I'm going to show you how to start the actual container which uses pihole. I'm going to show you all the steps to run pihole as a container. So after the update, we install Podman on your Debian, like I showed you, which is just apt install Podman, which is easy. If it was Red Hat, it will be just dnf install Podman. Same thing. And I'm going to show you the steps to actually run the container, because I want to expose an error and how to fix that error you will get. Okay, so I could just prepare everything so the error does not show, but I'm going to show you the error occurring, and then afterwards I'm going to show you how to fix it. Okay, how to make it work. So for now, and we should run the container as a non-root user. It's highly advisable so you don't run the containers as root users, at root user. So I'm going to go to my student user again, or whatever user you are using for this. Then I'm going to get the image itself. Okay, so I'm going to make a copy paste, so I'm not chasing errors and typos. So it is going to pull the image from the Docker repository containing the latest available pihole. This is going to be as fast as our machine allows it to be. So this is going to go as smoothly as possible. Cool. We have the image. We can do Podman images to see it. There it is. Nothing special here. Then you're going, this is optional, but highly advisable. So we're going to set up some folders. Okay. You're going to set some folders so that the container configuration is permanent. Okay. Because I'm not going to explain you here what a container is, but every time you start a container, it's a fresh copy. So all the changes you will make to your pihole are going to get lost if you need to restart a container. By creating your folder, by creating this folder, every time the container is spawned, it's going to read the configuration from a local folder, which make it permanent. So instead of applying always fresh change or a completely fresh container, it's going to create a fresh container, yes, but the configs are getting pulled from a permanent storage, which is your hard drive. Then we are going to run the container. We're going to boot the container. Okay. So again, let me explain all the things that are occurring here. So this is going to be let's go. Oops, here. Podman run is going to run, well, a new container. Minus it's going to run in the background. This is the name of the container. These are the ports you need to forward to the container. So which means that these are the DNS ports. These are the web interface ports, which means every time you connect to the Raspberry Pi to port 80, it's going to forward to port 80. It's going to forward to port 80 of the container. Every time you connect to this port 53 UDP or TCP of the Raspberry Pi, it's going to forward to the same ports on the container itself. So you will connect to the Pi and the Pi will forward to the container. You connect to the Pi and the Pi forwards to the container, and so on and so forth. This is your time zone. Okay, these are parameters are specific for the container itself. So this is the time zone the container will be in, and then this parameter here, this blah 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 blah, is going to be the password, so you can access the web interface of your pihole. So it's a password you will use to access the web interface of your pihole here. Okay, I will show this in a second, more details about it. Okay, and these are the mapped folders. So my home folder is going to map to this container folder. My home folder is going to map to this container folder, which means that the configurations are going to be permanent, because if you spawn a new container, it's a fresh container, but the configs are getting saved on your local hard drive, which maps to a specific folder of the container. These are kind of optional. I like to restart when stopped. This is going to be the host name of the container itself within the container. So this is the name of the container. This is the host name of the container itself. So this is local. This is the container itself. You don't have to put this here, but I like to give it my own. And the image to use, which matches the one you just downloaded. So I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to see what happens. And you get the error I was telling you about. Okay. So basically you need to make a change, which is we are trying to use the ports below 124 on a non-root user. So student, it's trying to map ports lower than 124. Okay. That's not by default not allowed. Okay. In this case, we can make a change that is going to allow us, so a non-root user can map ports below 124. Okay. A non-root user can map ports below 124. Not going to give you more details about this, but this is something you need to change in order to use these ports. So to do that, I'm going back to my root user. Okay. And I'm going to add this entry to a specific file. Okay. Basically, this will, if you are doing it like me, don't forget to use a greater than twice, because or else if you use just a one greater than, it's going to completely overwrite this file, and it's a problem, or just vi into the file. Okay. In this case, I'm going to install vim. I prefer vim for this stuff. So apt install vim. This is personal preference. You can use vi if you like. It's fine. Okay. So I'm going to vim into etc and go to cctl.conf, and this edit the line below at the end. Start 0. Okay. So a non-root user can map ports below 124 from 0 to 124 and above that. So this is not applied yet. So if I try to run the container, it's still going to get the error. So let's go podman ps -a, and let's remove it. Podman rm my whole minus force. This is going to completely remove the container. Cool. If I try this again, it's going to give you throw the error again, because that parameter, it's not being applied. It's only applied on the next reboot. So you either reboot or go back there and there, and you get this like this, and you type cctl -w. Okay, and in theory it's applied right now. So I have written down to the file, which means that it's going to be applied on every reboot, and this command will apply it at this moment. So hopefully we are good to run the container finally with those port mappings. So no errors. So podman -ps, and the container, it's running, and the ports are mapped correctly. Okay. So in order to test this, I'm going to use the Pi itself to connect to himself, and he's going to show you that you should be okay. So this is the first time I run this. So don't sign in. As I tell you, this is a fresh copy. So http localhost 80, and it's going to tell, do you want pihole? Yes, I want pihole. The password is defined, and you have your pihole here already ready to run. So all your clients' machines are going to point to this IP address you have configured as your DNS server. This is going to be your DNS server for your network, which is going to be served by this container, the pihole container. Okay. So let me show you here the real thing of my customer. So if I would do podman ps, you see similar things, and this is the actual. Let me put this back here, and this is the actual dashboard of my real thing, Raspberry Pi, my pihole. And the difference you see here is that oh my god, I did a I did a boo-boo. So give me a second. I by accident closed off the window. I pressed the wrong thing, which is fine. What the hell did I do? Oh my god, what did I do? Oh god, let's try this again. Okay, here we go. So you will see that my domain list is much bigger than the default one here. So you will see that I have much more filtering enabled. So what do you do? How to enable this? Well, you go here. You guys can see that, yeah. So you go here to the how it's called the lists, and you can add some custom lists. So I'm going to add to the description below the ones I recommend. So basically, you just copy this from the description and put it here. You do add to block list. This one is the one that is already the default one. I added these two with the which will give me a more extended filtering capabilities. And this is all my clients using and abusing pihole, and this is all the things that are getting filtered. So you see things that look innocent but are not quite. It's very impressive, the things that are actually innocent looking but they are not. So this is all the things my pihole is blocking and protecting my privacy. So going back to the lists, you add the ones I'm going to put in the description below. Okay, you're going to add the ones I'm going to put in the description below. But don't forget that after adding this, you go here to tools. You add these two or more if you wish, and you click update gravity and click update. I'm not going to do this because I already done it. So before you click update, you're going to see the default numbers. Okay. After you do this, after we add the custom lists, you go to tools, update gravity, update, and then this number will increase quite a lot. Okay. So this one is nice because it gets updated automatically. So you in theory you get most things blocked out, and you have most protection automatically. In theory at least, and you are in a safer environment by using pihole. All right. So this is my pihole. It's running, and basically I have a different IP address. I can show you fine. It's a private one. This is the one I'm testing with, 69 giggity, and this is my worldwide DNS server, which means that, for example, one of my machines. Let me get this out of here to minimize this, and this guy here. So this guy here, my DNS server, it's the actual pihole. Okay, so every time this machine specifically is going to connect to the internet and use DNS, it's going to use the pihole DNS and get fully protected. This was a mouthful. This was a long one, but I wanted to give you all the details that you might deserve. Now this is basically done. You have your pihole protecting yourself, protecting your network, but as a bonus, let me show you how you can, if you are still here, I don't hope you are. Let's make sure that this container is running as a service, and by running as a service, it means that it's going to start every time you reboot your Raspberry Pi or the machine. This container is going to be enabled when you start the machine. So let's make this pihole container as a service. So it's going to be treated as a service, and it will start with your system. There are other ways to start containers with your system. If you have another process, be my guest. But this is my suggestion. If you want to enable this pihole container to run as a service, okay? So to run as a service, you're going to create a folder, which is this one, okay? Then you're going to cd. I'm copy pasting just to make things faster. Okay, so this video it's already getting a little bit long, but it's necessary. Then you will generate your systemd files. Okay. Then you're going to stop the container. Stop it, not delete it. Just stop it. So it's going to be stopped for a moment, which means that in theory it's going to stop. If I refresh this, it's going to connect to nothing. It's temporary. Will get fixed soon. Okay. Cool. Then you will just reload your user daemons. This is systemctl doing its thing. I'm not going to go into much detail about systemctl itself. You can just find out. You check my other videos. Then you're going to enable the container as a service. This means that the container is now running as a service, and as you can see in the background, my page got reloaded immediately. Then you just enable linger. I'm not going to details about what linger is, just enable it. Cool. Now, for example, if I do systemctl status container Where is it? Container. What did I call it? My whole. What was the name? Container my whole service status. My whole service is just why is it? Oh, of course I need to put the minus usage here. There you go. It's I can make the status. I can stop it. And of course, after that, I can start it. And all the configurations are getting saved because it's mapping to a local folder like I've shown you on the Podman run. So this is the gist. Well, more than the gist. This was a long one, but it had to be long. If you haven't watched this video multiple times, I'm going to put all the steps on the description below. Ask any questions you may have. I'm happy to answer them. Like, subscribe, and comment, it really helps. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Cheers. Have fun.